What has it been like having to be a leader during the pandemic?
It has been a roller coaster, but for all the great reasons. There are definitely the ups and downs of being a leader, as they are every year, but this year has been something different because we have to deal with the mask and the COVID guidelines and all the things that come into play of being in one space with a certain amount of people. Every time we have a break, we spray the space down, we get out of here, we let people go home, we don't keep anybody late. And so it's very much of understanding that everybody's time needs to be accounted for, and it's very much understanding that we also need to take into account that the amount of people who are in the space who can be
Chaos, but controlled chaos. It's been a twist and turn every time you turn around. Things changing at the drop of a hat, but honestly, I can't imagine being a leader any other year because this is the year that I've lived through. So working with the other side's leaders and everything, it's been probably more fun than I ever could have imagined, and more challenging. I've learned more this year than I could have ever thought, and I've gotten to meet so many new people. It's probably been the best year ever.
It's been overall just very interesting. I think it has allowed for us to be just more considerate of everything and more accommodating. We're considering all these different options and outlooks and then just different ways of how something can happen. And throughout this year, we've been every time we make a plan, we make sure to have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. So overall, it just made us really prepared for everything.
This question gets me every single time because it has been chaotic, but it's been rewarding at the same time. It's taught us how to be adaptable. It's taught us how to work together harder. It's learned how, we've learned how to be teammates through all of it, because right now we need each other more than ever, even though we have to be socially distanced. So.
What are some of the biggest changes that you've had to make to College Night this year?
Some of the biggest changes would definitely have to be the shows being one. Instead of having two shows this year, we had one, a joint show with both sides. We also combined a lot of our cabinet.
Choreography, keeping everybody 6 feet apart best we can, rehearsing in the masks, having limited rehearsal times, only calling certain people at certain times. With athletics, the masks, more limited numbers on teams, limited numbers to athletic events, specific orchestra times, pre-recording, everything. We're making a movie. It's just been a lot of limiting, and usually College Night is very every single person, no matter what side you're on, no matter what you're interested in, every single person, let's go do it. So it's just been a lot of limiting, which none of us are used to and none of us could have expected.
Not doing a College Night mixer, that's for sure one of the biggest. I think every time we took something away or we just couldn't do it, we were able to kind of replace it with something. So, even though we lost something, we could still do something new. So it felt like we were still expanding as we were closing in on ourselves.
Yeah. So what are some of those big changes that you guys made in adaptation to the things we couldn't do?
Something that's great that we did is esports, and that's happening next week. They're playing Smash Bros, which is going to be really fun. We're going to have commentators, and it's going to happen in Palmer, so we're excited for that. We added male volleyball, and then we added women's kickball, so that's been really fun to just add and explore. It's just been such an amazing different process, seeing how both sides work and then adapting and then figuring out how to create something great together has just been I'm very happy that this year turned out the way it did.
Well, being combined in all aspects production, I think that it's been different because probably both sides obviously do things differently overall. Choreography, for example, both of our heads are completely different types of choreographers, and so they've had to come together and figure out how to blend that. But it's been an amazing process to see these two amazing brains come together and make one beautiful product at the end of the day. So,
what adaptations have been made this year that you see making an appearance in future College Night seasons?
Definitely the recording of the music aspect. It's something that is very beneficial, and it's something that is super cool because you get to do this amazing thing called College Night, and then after it's over, you're like, oh, I wish I could hear that song again. Hopefully in the future that they continue to record the music so we'll be able to listen to it and just have a great time and relive the great memories we had whenever we first heard the songs.
I could see some improvements with the way rehearsal is run as far as calling people at certain times and not having to keep everybody so late, because in the past it's usually like you're called at 6 and you'll stay till 2 every single night whether you're in those numbers or not. So I think there's going to be a lot more organization with that. I think that some new positions are going to arise based on things we had to figure out this year.
Can you give an example?
Something that I would like to see in the future for Goldside is a couple more assistant positions that are more tailored directly to what they need to do, but they fall under a head position that makes sense. So like with artistic director, Purple Side has a scenic designer, so it's not the artistic director painting and designing. So I think that that would be really good because it takes a little bit of the workload off of just that one person.
I feel like it really depends on the leadership. I think one of the biggest things that was like expressed to us was that a smaller cheer team is kind of very beneficial. And I think what is gonna change are the small things. Like sometimes I think we took tips, like for Purples, I think we took tips from Goldside on how they run rehearsals and how they do this. And I think they took tips from us. And it really depends on who's in charge and who's the director next year and who are leaders. If they take what we saw and we don't say like, well, Goldside's doing that and we shouldn't, or we say that's been helping them, why can't we adapt it for us? Why can't we use it? And hopefully esports is something that can stay, because I think it's a way to get more people on campus involved, because there's so many gamers and we literally have an esports club. I think that's something just to like grab more people in the College Night umbrella.
Live streaming. Live streaming is a huge thing. I think that a lot of our alumni who can't make it out here, especially because they don't live in state anymore, really enjoy to hop on and see what we're up to. So I definitely see that being a key player. Maybe even possibly filming the shows, maybe doing some shots throughout rehearsals and stuff, and making like almost a video of it for those that can't come as well. I can see that possibly happening.
What would you say has been the best thing to come out of everything that has happened this year?
I would say the best thing would be the love for the school. It's one thing when you talk about College Night in purple and gold, but it's another thing whenever people hear about the new ideas and hear about the combined shows and hear about all these things that are going to be together and not separated this year, not like a competition, but more of like a loving the school aspect of it, an idea, and that everybody who's on board really, really loved the idea of the combined, and they love the school spirit, and they just want to be a part because it's something that only our school gets to do. So it's very special, and no matter which way, shape, or form you get to do it.
All of the people. Usually during College Night season, everyone is so just like against each other, and no one wants to talk to the other side and this and that. And being able to work with the other side's leaders, for starters, incredible. Being able to work with the other side's directors and being able to establish these relationships with them is something I never thought I was going to get to do and always wanted to do. And that's one of my favorite part, is just meeting these new people and making these new friendships that I know are going to last beyond just the next couple months that I'm here. So that was my favorite part, is meeting everybody I never got to meet.
Okay, there is one song in College Night that Lacey Freeman wrote. It's her solo song. It is breathtaking. Marion even said it is one of the best songs ever written in College Night. It is gorgeous. And the orchestration was done by Reese and Jalen, and the music. The music is probably the best thing to come out of this, because we combined Goldside style with Purpleside style just so perfectly, and like the songs are just so different, and it really pushes the boundary of what a College Night song can sound like. Like Lacey's song sounds like a studio track produced in a real ass studio, and it's just like, I can't wait for everyone to hear it, because the music is just gorgeous.
As cheesy and sappy as it sounds, unity and love. I know that we can get caught up in our own world, and I know that times can get really intense, but I think that we've had the chance to understand each other a little bit more as sides and see where we're all coming from at the end of the day. Of course, like, we love our sides and that's what we stick to and that's what we know, but I think being able to try to understand each side better has been the biggest reward out of this, and making new friends that you didn't know. Like, there's people on Goldside that I had never met, And it's been amazing to know that at the end of the day, like, I can still call on them after this. So it's been a really fun experience.
Why do you think it's important that we continued to do college night this year instead of taking a year off?
I believe it was important because it was something that the university and the students really looked forward to, and it was something that we really wanted to figure out a way to do because it's something that this school loves so much, and that it's part of their identity as college night. And it would be one crazy year, even through everything that we've been through, to still not do it. And everybody being combined, it's something truly special.
Oh my gosh, there's no way we could have skipped it. Are you kidding? This is a tradition that's gone beyond wars and disease and everything. And now here we are with another pandemic, something that honestly is not new to college night. We're just having to adapt in a different way than they probably did back then. So I think that it's so important to be able to pull that off because we're here and we have an opportunity to still show that we can do this. And having something that's been so special to so many generations of people, why would we not take the opportunity to continue and maybe even change it? Like, you never think in your leader year that you're going to be the year that something changes, and somehow, some way, we got to be a part of that year. And there's been so many changes and there's been so much connection with each other that I think that this was the year we needed to be able to break some of the tension between the sides. And now moving forward, relationships are going to be better, and that, I don't know, that creative tension that usually arises is going to be a little bit less. And I think that's what the university needed, that's what the students needed, that's what the tradition needed.
College night is just such a special tradition and has affected so many students just over and over again. And you do it and you grow and you learn, and it's like the one thing that you can just hold on to after you leave. Like, everyone thinks about college night because you can only do it on this campus. And I think that's why we couldn't just skip a year, because there would have been a year where freshmen didn't get to experience what college night is. Even though it's different than we usually do it, they wouldn't have been able to really say, oh, like, that's my school. Like, look at what these students did by themselves. They were able to record an entire musical. I think if we didn't do college night this year, it would have just shown everyone that college night is not about determination and hard work and going around the problem and, overcoming the situation. Because that's what we just had to do this year. We had to go around the problem and overcome it. And that's why it had to happen this year.
I think that a lot of people have been hurting this year. A lot of people have lost a lot this year. And even though we did lose the way that we normally do this year, I think that we needed this more than ever as the student body. We've lost a lot between, being able to, see our friends on the halls, going to classes in person, getting to know our professors personally, having those in-person activities that we usually get to do are not current. So I think having this one thing, even though it's not quite normal, gave us an escape. For a lot of people, got people to be social again, because we were quarantined for a really long time and still are, but this gave us a chance to reconnect with the community. So yeah, I really think that this brought out love